So actually, here we are, we've poured the concrete, and Steve, you'd seen him kind of screed it across earlier. So you can kind of see where the bleed water is, the shiny portion on top of that concrete slab, but in the middle, I can kind of see from my screen, hopefully you can see it. Yeah, Steve's kind of pointing it out, it's starting to dry up a little bit. So if you come onto the concrete too soon, where the bleed water is present, what ends up happening is it forces what we call the cream of the concrete to come to the top. We talked a little bit about that and consolidating, and it actually weakens the top surface. But Steve's going to do a little bit of prep work now to it, and you kind of can see when he does, the water will come back up. But we're waiting a little bit for this to dry, but as you can see a little bit, we're going to do a little edging, a little screeding, so you can see how things would progress from here.
So what we want to do is we want to edge this whole piece. And it is a little early to get on it and start to do any finishing, but sometimes you have to get on with an edger, and because we're going to get a seal up against the formwork. So we kind of want to break that seal a little bit so it's easier for us to edge down the road. So I'm just going to run right along the formwork, try and break that seal just a little bit. And you can see it's starting to get a little tight because this is where we started pouring. I'm just going to run it back and forth.
This tool, I'll ask Steve to hold it up here so you can kind of see the profile in a moment. And it has on one edge kind of a little lip on it that allows it to get that groove in there.
So you can see, this is the edge tool. This is what's curving down along our formwork, but then you can also see that both ends are beveled up. And it's the same idea as the magnesium float. You always want to tip that edge up in whichever direction you're going. You don't want to dig into the concrete. So they flare these edges a little bit to help prevent you from digging in.
This is kind of what you see in a lot of sidewalks as you're out there and about. Kind of take a look at the sidewalk. There's lots of different edging tools. We'll use one a little bit later that will actually take this slab and we'll cut it in half. And that kind of a tool has that, an impression, if you will, in the center of it to kind of divide it. But again, we're just kind of taking a little bit of work on this slab to kind of, as Steve had said, give it a little bit of edge to it, kind of hopefully release this from the form when we take it apart. We've got a couple of hours ahead of us. I can see the water kind of pouring out of here. So we did this earlier this morning. It's actually only about 10 o'clock now here, and I think today's Tuesday morning, the 21st.
So it's a very rough first edging. Again, it's just to make it a little easier for us because I don't know if you can kind of see down here, I was having a little difficulty because this is where we started pouring and trying to break that edge tool down in there. It's tough once that concrete starts to set. So we do an initial edge, we're going to come back, we're going to clean it up and make it look really nice. But you see all the bleed water, we're going to end up pushing it around if we get on it right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to let some of that bleed water come off. We'll come back with a little bit with magnesium float, and we're also going to show you another tool called a bull float, and that's used on much larger concrete pours. But for now, we're going to wait for some of this bleed water to come off, and then we'll come back.
The other thing that's kind of important when they're pouring concrete is what's the temperature outside. We're working inside. Actually, this morning it was cool. The sun came out for a few minutes, but it's actually cooled way down. So this won't cure as fast as if it were, say, 70 to 80 degrees outside. I think right now it's probably in the mid-30s or 40s. So, okay, see you in a little bit.